okay. That's how I have to do it. Okay, I don't know why this is doing that. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. I wanted to pop on early so we could make sure I get this going. Still looks kind of stroby. It's telling me that I'm on. Okay, cool. Okay, give it another few minutes. We're going to be talking about Chico Xavier. And I'm going to channel Chico Xavier. And it's going to be super cool. He's a cool man. And I'm glad that he's been with me to be able to introduce the United States to him. And because the United States needs to know who Chico Xavier is, because he is a very strong, nice medium. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? This is going to be a little bit of a repeat, but I'm going to just channel Chico Xavier today. We had a really good class Saturday, and it was fun. And we got to go up to the Astral City into the Reincarnate building, and I'll kind of go over that with you today. So, okay, so let's do some cards. I always do cards while people pop on. So I'm going to do an angel card. And this is a message from Archangel Gabriel. When you need to breathe energy into your goals and dreams, call upon me, the Archangel of creativity and motivation. And then he also says, I am a fountain for infinite creativity. My imagination knows no limits. Perfect. And for those that don't know, for that watch this a little bit later, I am starting a new book. Don't know why. I'm kind of like Chico Xavier, that I feel like I have to keep going. And this book will be different than the book, the other two books. The other two books are really good messages from out of system species and some existing that lived upon this earth, like Enoch. But the new book is going to be, I was told that I was to channel all the archangels. So I am starting from A to Z. And I've channeled Michael, the Archangel Michael, twice. And I just did channeling from Archangel Azrael. And I didn't know much about him because there's a lot more archangels than we know about. And Archangel Azrael is the angel of death. And he protects us when we decease. And it seems like I'm freezing up. I don't know why this is starting to do that now. Ashley, am I freezing up? Look like I am. So I guess let's just listen to my voice. Okay. And I think Michael got home. I don't think Michael even knows that I'm doing this channeling. I should message him. Anyway, he had some friends stuff to do. Okay, good. And so he might have crashed and went to bed early because he had a busy weekend too. Let's see. And so the book that we're going to do is going to be every single archangel, and I'm going to channel them more than once so that they each will have a chapter. And the ones I've been sending to Michael, he thinks are really good. So I think it'll be really good messages. They talk about themselves and what they mean to us and how we can use them in our lives. Okay, so let's do some other cards. I have 2 new decks, and these decks came from China. But my deck's going to come from China too. We designed it, but it's going to be coming from China. So Michael is almost done with the book, and then we are going to try to hand select, prayerfully, 3 companies in China, and then see what their rates are. And we'll pick one, and then I guess you submit all your artwork and everything to them, and then they put it in a PDF and send it back to you to see if you give it the okay. So that's what we're going to do. And it's going to be a process. I personally don't think we're going to have them until midsummer, because I don't know if the tariffs are going to harm doing that. So one of these cards, I think these are really good cards. So, okay, I'm doing another book. And after this oracle deck, I'm doing another oracle deck. I was working on all the pictures last night. So I don't know. It seems that the older I get, the more stamina I have. I don't know where it's coming from. So this one's really great that fell out of the deck that will be good for someone. It's called Divine Light. Divine light clears the darkness and reveals the truth. Trust in its guidance to show you the way forward, and its illumination, spiritual clarity, and truth revealed. So my second deck will be like this, where they're going to be affirmation cards, and it's I'm not sure the name of it, but it all has situations in a lavender field. I love lavender. And so everything happens in a lavender field. So I think I'm going to call it Lavender Field Oracle deck. And it will be just positive affirmation where, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this. I bought this on Etsy. So it has a line there. So you can get smaller ones too. So you just put your card like right in here, and you can just look at your card all week if you want to. So the next deck is going to be kind of like an affirmation card. And a lot of people do that. A lot of psychics do that, where we have a card we pick for a week, and we just kind of look at it and read it and just have it give us affirmation. So the next card is really cool too. It's Ripples of Love. Your love creates ripples that touch others, spreading healing and deep connections. Trust that your love is making a powerful impact. And then it's love impact, soul connection, and healing renaissance. Use this hand. That one looks better. Okay, cool. And then the next deck I got was called Repair, Evolution, Growth Oracle deck. And so 2 cards flew out of the deck. And so we'll read those. This first one is partnership. It's called support. You're being guided to reach out to form partnership and alliances to expand your vision and perspectives. Take this time to see who comes into your life that is offering to assist with your endeavors. Asking for help often leads to accomplishing your goals more quickly. So, partnership. And the next one is Soul Family. And this one is really cool from Saturday, and it's Strength. Finding your soul family is a blessing that reaps many benefits. You're being asked to reach out and explore to find your soul connection. They will feel familiar, safe, and trust when you meet them. Send out your intentions to connect with your soul family and see who comes your way. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to do a light touch up on our class that we had on Saturday, and everybody that was there was supposed to be there. And Cassie, my friend, said that this class seemed to be a really nice, relaxed class. That she felt it was a little bit more relaxed and comfortable, and that might be because it was a little bit more on the side of we all know each other, and so we're getting more comfortable in the classes, and we can talk amongst ourselves. So, and I think the next class, um, I'm going to talk about the archangels. I'm going to talk about the book that I'm doing and the archangels and the importance of being asked to do this channeling again. Um, and I think the class will be about the archangels. And then I will do a channeling for you directly about the archangels and give you messages. Instead of taking you on a journey, I'm going to channel just directly to you guys. Because I noticed when I had Chico Xavier with us, he was paying attention to each one of you and looking at your auras and your souls. And I could see him just paying attention to you so he could give messages that would be directed towards you. So I think let's do that next time instead of I just want you to come and just relax at the next class and just let me take over the class and you guys just hang out and enjoy it. So if you think that's cool, let me know because I think that'll be a good one. I'll let you relax this time. You won't have to go on a journey. So I wanted to read something before we get started. So this is Chico Xavier. This man is a medium, and he did automatic writing. They called it something different, but I had several people ask me who he is or who he was on Earth, who is his soul, and I think I told Brad towards the end of our class that he's a prophet. And then as I was talking to Michael, I felt that he is a prophet that has returned upon this earth. So he came back down. Now, and I am not saying he was Moses, but he came to push the agenda forward for his people, to bring forth the light and spiritualism to the people and help the poor. And that was a huge thing. And he made millions and millions of dollars, and he helped a lot of people. And he might have saved a lot of lives, helped a lot of children out of poverty, etc., etc. So he was told his guide's name was Emmanuel. Now, and I don't think that's Jesus Christ, but his guide's name was Emmanuel. And his guide told him that he's going to write like 400 books or so. And then Chico got to writing 100 books. He was ready to retire. And so he told his guide that, okay, I'm good. I wrote 100 books, a lot of good information. I think I'm going to retire now, he told his guide. And his guide said, so you don't want to do this anymore? You're not going to write any more books anymore because you're here to write books. And Chico said, no, I think I'm just going to retire and serve the poor and still, live my life. I'm going to kind of retire and not write any more books. And then Emmanuel said, so if you're not going to write any books, then we're just going to take you right now. And he goes, what do you mean take me? And he says, we're just going to take you. If you decide you don't want to do this anymore, we'll just take you right now. And Chico goes, oh, no, no, no. I'll write more books. So to me, an angel would say that to Moses. If Moses said, yeah, I don't think I want to do anymore. We crossed the people over the water. Let's just call it good. And then the angel probably said, nope. If you're not going to follow the rules, then you're going home. So this is a picture of his guide, Emmanuel. And let me read this because Emmanuel, he had people over, and Emmanuel materialized actually in front of a whole group of people while Chico was automatic writing. So let me read you this. So Emmanuel is a spiritual mentor of Chico. Also materialized during one of his sessions in Pedro Leopoldo, not somewhere in Brazil, to deliver a message to those present. And this is the message. He says, friends, what you have just seen and heard represent great responsibility on your shoulders. My friends, materialization is a phenomenon that may dazzle some people and even assist them in achieving physical healing. However, books are our priority. Books represent the rain that fertilizes the immense soil, reaching millions of souls. I would like to ask you that from now on we dedicate our meetings to this purpose. The benefactor thus spoke because most of those present there had not applied the lessons learned during the materialization of the session in their lives. From then on, Chico only participated in materialization sessions dedicated to scientific research. Interesting that the importance of books upon this earth are important. And I love how he said the books represent the rain that fertilizes the immense soil, reaching millions of souls. Now, my books haven't gotten to millions of people, but the people that do have my books in their hands, I think they feel great energy and consciousness of it. When I went to a medium to when I was having heart pain, and she did a clearing on me, and she said I had grief in my heart and my third eye, and she cleared me out, and I've never had pain again. I went to her for that purpose because sometimes I don't dabble in the dark side. And I don't think she does anymore, but she knows more about it than I do, where kind of the witch side. And so she had the experience and expertise to clear me of any darkness on me, and I wasn't able to do it. So it was interesting. I took my book, and she was very excited about the book. It was the second book, The Power of the Benevolent, and she put it next to her, on a table next to her, and she kept going like this. She kept going like this. And I go, what are you doing? And she goes, the energy coming out of that book is amazing. She goes, I can feel that. And I thought that was super cool. I went, awesome. So, okay. So this is a fun book to have if you want to read a little bit of fun stuff on Chico Xavier, and it's about art. And this is a picture of some people and Emmanuel appearing in front of the people. So there's a lot of witnesses on a lot of this stuff. So Chico and Emmanuel brought forth another spirit. And this spirit's name was Andreas. And Andreas was a doctor that lived and died upon this earth and crossed over into the spirit world. And Andreas came forward and wanted Chico to write his story of his life and crossing over and what he discovered about himself. So Chico, I believe, wrote 5 books from Andreas. And Andreas is a very highly intelligent man. They go into scientific things. They go into some stuff that's really over my head. But I started with the book that's Astral City and Nasolar. He talks about Nasolar, and Nasolar is heaven, and it is the heaven that is right above us. And Nasolar, I believe they said in Brazil, means our home. And it's very interesting when they call heaven our home, because I know growing when I was young and even in teenagerhood, if I got really upset at my parents and stuff, I would say, I want to go home. And I would start crying and say, I want to go home. I want to go home. And my mom goes, what are you talking about? You are home. I go, I'm not home. This is not my home. And I didn't even know what I was saying. And it was because I wanted to go home. I didn't like being here on earth. I didn't like the pain of it. I didn't like the discovery of it. And I really actually didn't like a lot of stuff of my childhood. And so being adopted into a family of people that have totally different viewpoints and different things, that I was the odd man out. I was really different than the rest of the family, and I didn't fit in, and I didn't like some of them. I know that sounds bad because they're your family, but I was adopted into it. Um, but it was just that was just the way it is, and I would always yell at them, "I want to go home." And it would make my mom so mad because she goes, "You are home." Like, oh, I'm not home. So, and it's interesting later in life, I really discovered why is because I wanted to go back and live in peace and harmony. So, where is heaven? According to Chico, heaven is above us. There is different heavens over different areas or continents. There is some small sublets of heaven. Life on earth is a copy of the spirit world, he says. So with him being in Brazil, and he said there's a heaven above Rio de Janeiro, and this is where this Andreas that crossed over went to. He went to that heaven, Nasolar. And unfortunately, this man he was very wealthy, had a good little family, and he was a great accomplished doctor. And then he dies of an intestinal some appendage or something like that, and they couldn't save him. So when he died, he did not go to heaven. He went all the way down. And so, and there's a movie on this called Astral City on Amazon. If you know Spanish, that is great. If you do not know Spanish, you'll have to read the subtitles, which actually makes it, to me, more profound because I would stop the movie a lot because every sentence was amazing. So he went to purgatory. And so in purgatory, he just walked around and wandered and thought, why am I here? What's going on? And even while he was in purgatory, he did see angels in white come down and walk around the people. And all the people would shun and want to go away from them or be scared. Um, or there would be like some people that would go up to the angels and say, can you take me out of here? And then the angels would take them out. To me, like I said on my class, it's kind of like the Valkyries. The Valkyries go down in the dungeons and they walk around and they see who wants to be lifted out before the end of it. Um, so as this Andreas, this doctor, was walking around, all the creepy people kept calling him unconscious suicide. And he goes, that is just crazy why they are calling me an unconscious suicide. And he said that many people leave this earth the same way as him due to addictions. Um, he actually was in purgatory for 8 years before he did finally leave. He thought he was in purgatory for like a few days, a few weeks. And they told him, no, you have been walking around for 8 years there before you finally got it. The reason he was an unconscious suicide was because he was a nice drinker and he was a cigar smoker. And before, I believe he's married lots of women. I don't know if that was part of it, but um, they said your body is a gift, and every single organ in your body you should really take care of, and you didn't, and it killed you. All your vices that you did killed you. And so you are a suicide. Everything that you were doing was leading you to death. It wasn't leading you to life, it was leading you to death. So you are a suicide, and they call it unconscious suicide. And Andreas said, as he got out of the purgatory, he said the best things in life is to start again. And so that is great. Also, something that Andreas did say, that life on earth is just a stage of learning and growth. He says you're down there just for a stage, and we're down here just for a short time. And so we have to make the best of it. I was driving to work today, and I always turn the radio. I have like 6 stations, and I just keep turning it till I find something I like. And I have one station on talk radio that's Idaho talk radio. And they had a psychologist on that works with really down and out people. And she said something right when I turned it on, and it just kind of stopped me. And I've been thinking about it all day. She says, hurt people hurt people. So think about that. Hurt people hurt people. And even the guy that was talking to her stopped when she said that. He goes, say that again. She goes, hurt people hurt people. And so I think that's pretty profound. We are not told that mental creation is almost everything in life. So our mental creation is almost everything in life. People forget that energy vibrates in different dimensions and states. The good we do is our advocate for eternity. Okay. The good we do is our advocate for eternity. Can't get any better than that. The law of harmony, our thoughts and feelings rule our direction. It is our efforts to work efficiently together and or alone in mindfulness of thought and energize it in positivity, and do not dwell in the past. That can destroy your harmony. Walk in today and to the future. So, and I was told by a special angel, I shared my experience on my class, that do not walk in the past, walk in the present and future. And that came from an angel. And that actually started to inspire me to write about the angels. So, life on earth is a copy of the spirit world, they said. Again, the best things in life to start again. And they also stated that reincarnation can be many times as necessary. It is the law. I went, wow, that's powerful. You guys have a law that you have to come down? Because what if I don't want to come down anymore? So in order for me to not come down anymore, I guess I'm going to have to really work on doing this life right. Then they talked about this Andreas when he got into Nasalar and was getting comfortable and all healed. Also, the water there was healing water, and they drank soup, and it was a nourishment, the soup. They had different things. They had soup and fruits. That's what they have in Nasalar. It is kind of a confusing segment, because you're thinking they're spirit. But actually in this movie, they're a little bit more of a substance than just a spirit or a soul. They almost look like us, but a little bit different. So, and they have several buildings there, cities there. Very interesting that they talked about a vampire. I thought that was, wow, that was really, because, at my book, Maitreya, I have vampires, and it's just kind of interesting, the alignment of my spiritual city and the vampires that keep trying to attack my city in my book Maitreya that I wrote like 15 years ago. They had a lady that came to the outskirts of this Nasalar. Now the Nasalar has to have a gate and a wall. And because you have the purgatory, that's not too far away. And you just can't have those people just walking in. You have to keep it structured. You got, just like we have to have a gate. So this lady came to this gate, and this Andreas and a woman and another guy met this lady at the gate, And she was pleading to come in, saying, I've changed. I want out of purgatory. I want to go to heaven. I was promised I could go to heaven. And I'm doing everything right. And get me out of here because it's just too hard here. And so Andreas said, oh man, we should open the gate. We should let her in. And the lady goes, no, 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 hold on. Let's just wait and see. And so this lady walks over to her and talks with her a little bit. And then she comes back and says to Andreas, she goes, are you looking at the lady? And he goes, yeah. She goes, do you see the black spots on that lady? And Andreas goes, no. And she goes, because you're not ready yet. You don't have the ability to see that. But she has black spots all over her body. So I can't let her in. We will have to call someone higher up to come out and take a look at her and see if we can let her in because of the black spots all over her. And so they call a higher up Archie and they wait for him to come. And then this lady's crying and pleading all the time, they said. And so he comes and he stands amongst Andreas and the woman and the other guy. And he goes, wow. And they go, what? He goes, that's a vampire. And they go, what? You know? And so he walks forward to the lady and she's pleading and pleading and pleading. And he's just observing her. And so then he observes her and then he walks back to the group and he says, that is the most powerful vampire I have ever seen. And they go, what? And he said to the lady, he goes, you saw the spots on her, didn't you? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, I want you to go count those spots. I want you to count how many round dots she has on her, all over her body. So she goes over to the lady, and the lady's pleading, let me in, let me in. So she's counting all the spots. And I can't remember if it was 36 or 56, but it was like that. And she says, and he goes, that's a lot of spots. And he goes, you want to know what those spots are? Those spots are children that she has killed. She was a doctor. She was an abortionist. And back in the day, a lot of those babies she would pull out and then have to kill them because they would be alive. And so those are life that she took. And so this is a good lesson for all of you, he says. She is pleading one thing and tugging at our hearts, but yet she holds the spots and she's a vampire. And he goes, she's the strongest vampire I've ever seen. And we cannot let her in. She will have to go on her way until those spots are off her. And so, as the story goes, she got angry and started gnashing. And then her true colors were starting to come out because she was getting ticked off. And then she went along her way. And I thought that was really profound, that exists. So the things that the information that Andreas gave Chico is things that we really need to think about because it's not something we think about in our everyday life, but this other realm does exist and we need to be mindful of it. And that's why we need to keep the light around us and keep our lives balanced. And also we need to serve others. Okay. So also, if someone likes to read, I bought this book because I'm going to break it apart and maybe use it for some lessons. But I got this big book here and it's called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And it is an encyclopedia outlining Masonic, Hermetic, Kabbalah, and all sorts of religions. And It's really a defined book. You just go chapter by chapter. And what was the one that I wanted? So, like, the first one is The Ancient Mysteries of Secret Societies, The Ancient Mysteries of Secret Society, Atlantis and the Gods of Iniquity, Life and Writings of Thoth. I'm still kind of on the, of Hermes. I'm still on the bench on that. And then it talks about the Virgin of the World, Wonders of Iniquity, Life of Philosophy. So human body in symbolism. So this is going to be kind of some good stuff, at least to have around. So this is, so I'm only if you want to. It's a huge, huge book. I didn't know it was this big, but I think it'll have some good stuff to read once in a while and use as references. So let's get Chico Xavier in. And so this is Chico. And he wore glasses because he had an eye stigmatism problem. And he, at a very young age, they were very, very poor. Very, very, very poor. So at age 4, he went to work. He did not go to school. He went to work in a cotton factory, I believe. And I think he worked there several years. And they, one of the guys that owned the cotton factory, I was watching an English segment of him talking about Chico Xavier, and he would give him cotton to keep him warm at night and feed him because he would be very skinny because he probably didn't eat very much. Also, working at the cotton factory, he became very ill in his lungs. So he became ill in his lungs, and then he contracted something in his eyes. So I don't know if he couldn't see very well or what, but he did have some health issues by working, and he stopped working at 12. The Brazil forced the children to have to go to school and not be slave labor. And so slave labor for children has been going on for a long time, but he needed to do it to bring money home to his family. I guess there was 9 children, and the mom died when he was very young. And then the dad just farmed the kids out because he didn't know what to do with 9 kids after mom died. So Chico Xavier had a hard time, but it all turned out good in the long run. When his dad remarried, he remarried a wonderful woman that wanted to bring the whole family back together, and she would take care of them. So he had a wonderful life when his dad remarried. So it turned out better. Okay, Chico Xavier. Do turn this up here. Okay. He laughs at me going Chico Xavier because I've been saying that all day today, Chico Xavier, because it makes me happy to say it. So, and I think we should keep his name on our tongues because we beckon to him and his energy, because he has a great amount of energy. And I'm asking him to talk about who he is and who he was and why he was here. My name is Chico Xavier. You are good people. I see some of you that I saw before. Who am I? That is a good question. I wanted to know that while I lived upon the earth. I don't know what happened to me. I just was able to see. I was able to see people that had gone on before, and they talked to me. They would tell me things, and they want me to write things down, and I would. It was kind of like what you do, recording. I didn't have things like this in my day, so I wrote everything down. 75 years of writing down. I wrote down all the books over 400 books I wrote with my hands. Yes, I did have people around me. Ah, Robin is saying I am changing the subject, not talking about who I am. Okay, I will go back. I am Chico Xavier. I am a prophet. I am a seer, and I am a revelator. I do not like to boast about myself, but that is who I am. I had a calling. I am of the Melchizedek. My soul was of the Melchizedek. I volunteered myself to save Brazil, to save the people, and bring spirituality back into the people. I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know, but I thought I'd need to try and try to be with these people because they were so good and so kind and so poor. They were so poor. And what is sad, it is their government kept them poor. The government could have helped them, but Chico helped them. And I was very thankful I could make so much money that I constantly gave it all to charity. All my money went away because it wasn't mine. You need to understand it's not my money. It's their money for the people. And if I do not do my calling right and I go sideways, I'm gone. I believed it too. I knew they weren't lying. And I wanted to live because I enjoyed serving others. I could sleep 1 hour a night and be successful all day. And all night, I did not sleep much until I got a little older, then I slept more. But it was by the grace of God that I was able to not tire because I knew my life was short. Even though I died at 92, my life was short. I had so much to do. And it was like a roller coaster. And I had lessons along the way. I was not perfect. I let my ego sometimes get in the way, and it put me into trouble. And then I would rise again, and I'd learn my lesson. I didn't do things that were bad, but sometimes when people want to get to know you and write about you and put you on TV, you just kind of get an ego. And sometimes I would forget to talk to my guide. A lesson. Always talk to your guide to make decisions that are big. Many people called me Jesus. They thought I was a reincarnate of Jesus. No, not close, no. But I love Jesus and I love God, and I am a part of their soul. You are a part of their soul. I need to put my energy into your people now. I need to explain and not be forgotten because this is a purpose for the evolution of your world. It is time for the United States to wake up and the rest of the world in your environments. I was one man, one little man. I was 5'4", and look what happened. Amazing that little Chico could change the world. I wish to tell you this day how important you all are. You don't need to be like me, and your journey is not mine. Your journey, even though you think it is small, it is big. It is big. Even if you just change yourself, you have won the battle. Continue to evolve. Be mindful of your choices because I know evil. I have seen it. It has touched me. It has tried to strangle me. It did not want me to move forward. It tried to kill me. But I could fight it with Emmanuel, this vessel who speaks now. She is darling. She's laughing. Because she is doing right. She's listening. She could retire too, but no. She keeps going because she knows her life is short and there's so much to do. Once you wake up and understand your calling, there's so much to do and say and be. Be alive. Be alive. Be present. Live in today and walk to the next day and live in that day. You know, it has had happening since the beginning of time, where people have heartbreak and sadness, and they cry, and they go through great hardships. I saw great hardships in Brazil. Horrible things I saw. I wanted to repair everyone. I wanted them to feel love of their heart. You must remember, because you are adults here, do not live in your past. And how do you not live in your past? Because it comes up in your head all the time. Because you have memories. You stay busy. You stay busy. You keep moving from project to project. You read and fill your mind with other things. You listen to things like this vessel and others that bring positivity, that make you think. And in your America words, your aha moments. Because when you have the aha moment, you think and you reflect and then you be, and then the energy is in you. Yes, it is. I must go. I have had good time with all of you. On Saturday, I was able to look at each one of you that was there in the Reincarnate building. You were there with me. It was very special for me to have you there because you believe. That's why it was special. You did not judge. You believed. And that sometimes all it takes is to have faith and believe. Remember that, people. Remember me. Not just who I was, what I did, what I wrote. I have left you a lot, a lot. And if you can find it in your language, be wise enough. Now I see from this vessel that there are books that people are reading in English of mine. Do that. Start there. Don't make it hard. It all begins with you. Learn a lesson on being unconscious suicide. If you have any vices, any people that will be watching this now or later, make sure your vices are small and far and few between. Moderation. We do not say that you cannot have joy or you cannot have fun, just the opposite, but moderation, and still be happy. I was always happy because the soul should remain happy. Your society brings it down and depressed because you can never please your society. Understand that. You can never win with your society. Never. It won't let you. Goodbye, good people of 2025. We watch you and we care for you. You must understand your guides, your angels, your family that surround you now because they are meant for you. They love you. Like this vessel is learning, forgiveness is one of the greatest qualities you can have. And sometimes that is the hardest thing, to forgive those that have harmed you, hurt you, and captured you in your own sorrows through their choices. Let it go. Untie the rope and let it go and be free and forgive. Once you forgive them, tenfold of forgiving yourself. Be one with the Lord and God. They are real and they are true and they are your foundation. They should always be your foundation. They have suffered for you and they would do it again and again because they love you. And you mean so much to them because you are their creation. You are their family, their children. And they want you to be successful. And then come home. And come home when it's time. When it's time. I end this transmission. Okay. Chico Xavier. That was good. That was good. So I had a feeling he was a Melchizedek. I had a feeling he was from the Melchizedek group. He was higher up. So that's awesome. Okay, guys, I'm going to pop off. I'm going to eat some more dinner. And thanks. I just had to channel him because it's very important to, and if you have anybody that watches this, if you have a channel on YouTube, just share this because his voice needs to be heard and he needs to be made known. And this is Chico Xavier, and he's a Brazilian man, and he saved his people. And still to this day, they say that he was on a TV show. Let's see if I can find it. And when he went on this TV show, millions of people watched. And let's see. And he talked about spiritual things. He also talked about alien. I mean, he talked about everything. I haven't found it because I don't know Spanish. So I know he did writings on different breeds of species out there. And let's see. So this is from 1971 that he was on there. And they said even still to this day, millions of people, they do the reruns, and still millions of people watch this show. His books are still selling in the millions. Nasolar is his #1 book. Also, Nasolar is called Astral City. If you go to Amazon and type in Astral City, you will find this film, and then just kind of watch it slowly. It evolves from Andreas' life and death, purgatory, and then how he recovered. And they actually try to deem Nasolar, they try to make it as, I guess, good as possible for his description. So, and then it talks about, it shows other people that have crossed over. And it also talks about the Holocaust, because Andreas was there in the Holocaust, and how millions and millions of people were coming home in droves, as we know. And so Nasolar was over Brazil, but they were taking on the people that were in Germany and Poland and stuff that were passing. So it goes into that, and how to bring those people into their city and repair them, because most of them had to be repaired after some of their situations. So peace out. We are going to do, Michael and I are going to do a free reading episode. And I don't know if Michael, we're going to do that. And we'll probably do that maybe in a couple of weeks. I was thinking of taking next week off so we can get the oracle cards done. And then maybe the week after that we can do a free reading. And then we'll have another class the end of May. Sound good? Okay. You guys, peace out. Have a good day. Thank you for your support. And we will see everybody soon. Okay, bye.